The more the business, we've touched it several times, the more the business is run on memory, on your memory as the owner, the less it's worth.
One of the
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Let's talk about the business, because you describe business that they are not sellable, and there are a lot of business out there in UK and all over the world that with a gradual process can make the transition from not sellable to sellable. However, a new roles, new skill has to be taken in place, and sometimes is stuff from the owners, from the CEO, that they are maybe uh, good business operators, but in order to get a sellable business, you have to develop leadership skills. You have to become a leader yourself, and you have to empower leadership in your organization, and you have to release control. And this is something that I found it very rewarding for me in my business. When I decided, I'm thinking, well, if all the employees are better than me at everything they do, why little by little, gradually, I start to release the control of the decision making process, right? That Harry, like, I put a sign in my office that say, well, if you have a problem and you come to us, Harry, come with 3 solutions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so effectively, I was out of survival also, because they were all coming to me to ask me everything. I cannot focus. You want to ask me about sales? You want to talk about marketing? You're gonna talk. I'm like, guys, I cannot do anything like this. You drive me crazy. So I put I put a sign say, if you have a problem, you wanna come talk to me, bring 2 3 solutions. So that they start to do this. And what happened is, when they came, I thought, okay, out of these 3 solutions, which one do you prefer? Because this is your area of expertise. Which one you wanna? And they say, okay, I choose this one. I said, look, go implement it. If it works well, if it doesn't, we try the other one. That's it. This is it. This. There is nothing else than I. This is exactly what I will do. I will choose one, and if it works, well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So why I have to choose? You can choose, because at the end you came with the solutions, right?
Yeah.
So little by little, I started to release control and the power to decision making. Therefore, they reached to a point that the whole company, it developed their own life. It become their own entity. It become their own human being, taking the decisions and growing and this, and they were meeting themselves and everything. And I just have a general manager, and Eva was calling me to go to the office once a week, sometimes once a month, to inform me, to give me, to tell me what they had done. I said, look, we acquired this more property. This is this. This is this. This is the money we're making. We are planning to do this. Blah blah. What do you think we could do? So she was actually meeting me just to inform me, to give me information how the business was doing. But I had to give up a lot. I had to release this. Everybody had to do what I say to empower and develop leadership. So in order for you to attract leaders to your organization, to turn your employees in leaders, you have to become a leader yourself. And I think that this is the biggest challenge in the non-sellable business, that the owner is stuck in this process. So what advice, or how can you help these owners to let it go, to surrender that ego, to surrender that. I mean, we're not gonna say surrender, because all entrepreneurs, we do have ego. We think that we can do better. That's why we become entrepreneurs in the first place. But to manage that ego, to surrender. Okay, this ego is very good. It's your driving force to you start and grow the business, give you confidence. However, to make it sellable, you do have to surrender, and you have to empower. You have to become a leader, and you have to empower leadership in your organization. And this is where I think that is a problem. So how can you help these people, Darren?
Good. Harry, I think there's 2 things that we can explore here. I think there's 2 layers to sellability, or perhaps 3 layers. The first layer is it's not sellable. There's no way anyone's going to buy it. There's nothing of value there.
And that's the truth. And that's the truth. Black and white.
It's a job. Why would I pay for your job?
It's,
Would you buy your business? Is the question. The next layer is
you're right. You're right in this one. Not all business are sellable because they are jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no way that you can expand, that you can leverage, that you can grow that thing. Yeah.
They've taken it as far as they can, and it's wholly dependent on them and their daily involvement. The next layer, I think, is a business that's sellable, but with lots of conditions attached. And these are the ones where you have to work an earn out because the business depends on you. You've got it to a stage where it's producing good revenue. You've got a number of people in the team that are supporting you and getting things done, but the business is still pretty dependent on you. You can have a business that's sellable, but someone might go, look, I want to buy the business from you, Harry, but I need you to stay with the business for the next 3 years to make sure that those projections
To hand
are
over,
realized.
exactly.
And it's called an earn-out arrangement, and it's highly risky for the owners, and you won't get anywhere near as much money as you're hoping or you think you're going to get if you have to work an earn-out. So there's that halfway house. It's purgatory, it's painful, and most business owners never complete the earn-outs.
Yeah.
Add back to life. The third layer is where you've got a business that's sellable on your terms, is the way I like to frame it up. Why? Because you've addressed the revenue. You've got lots of contract, you've got lots of subscription, you've got predictable, consistent revenue growth, you've got systemized, you've got a management team that are doing things on their own. The business is sellable and the ownership can change hands without you having to be involved. Now, that's a business that's highly attractive to an owner and maybe even a strategic acquirer, and they'll pay a premium for the right business that is really servicing an issue well and doing some special things in the marketplace. That's the ultimate, that's the holy grail that everyone's going for, a strategic exit. And it's where you don't have to be involved. You may have some delayed payments, you may have some warranties you need to put in place, but you don't necessarily have to be involved in working next to the business. Look, you may have to do a couple of months handover, but that's nothing in the grand scheme of things to get the most from your life's work. So they're the 3 layers we want to aim towards. I think getting a revenue base, a consistent revenue base, is the biggest metric of that, of having a business that is actually sellable. The higher the revenue, the less risk it is, because to generate more revenue, you need more infrastructure around it to keep it moving. Yeah, it becomes a beast, and it has its own momentum and inertia to keep moving. That's what you want to do. The more the business, we've touched it several times, the more the business is run on memory, on your memory as the owner, the less it's worth.
One of the podcast guests to this very same show, he has 40 exits, 40 times he exits, and he described, and he was saying, Harry, leave always a meat on the bone for the next
Absolutely.
person. Don't be so greedy that you want to sell the business and there is no meat on the bone for the next person. So make sure that you the guy was exited always for over $1 million. He did it 40 times in so many different industries, and he described that acquire it, grow it, but when you want to sell it, make sure that there is meat on the bone for the next person, correct?
And importantly, you need to know what that meat is, so that when buyers are shopping around, you go, look, here's the next phase. Here's, if you buy my business, here's what you can do with it. And with your resources and your distribution channels and your sales team and adding this product to your mix, here's what you can do. And here's the product development left with your funding that you can do. You show them that, they're less likely to try and screw you down. Well, they'll always try, but yeah, absolutely agree with that. Yeah,
now, this podcast guest, he have a specific mindset. He knew, he was acquiring businesses, but as soon as he was taking them, he knew that he's gonna exit, that he's gonna be there involved 2 to 3 years, and he changed the processes, create the systems, made the whole thing work by itself. I mean, had the blueprint already in place, that so he didn't marry to any of those his businesses. he just was taking them exactly for that purpose, which is, I think, is the most financial and sustainable way, because this is what he was good at. He's so good that he did it 40 times. You see, and he understand that he was good at this thing, to take it, to buy it, to get it from zero to one, 0 to 5 million, and then leave meat on the bone and find somewhere to take care of it. So whether
Beautiful thing.
entrepreneurs, sometimes we don't have that mindset. We don't have this. Okay, this is what we are good at. We're gonna start it, because somehow, like I said, people think, oh, what else I'm gonna do? Well, if you exit your business and if you're bored and you know what to do, come and talk to me. I can give you plenty. You can
There's
go
no
and speak all over the world like I'm doing. You can do coaching, you can do training, you can have, and if you're bored, you can open one more business in something different. But what it makes sense is to sell it at the peak. This is what makes financially safe. You don't need to be there for the whole cycle of the business. The business start, grow, make millions, and then market change, whatever. You don't know how to handle it, and because you don't have experience, and then the whole thing goes down, and you have to de-escalate and eventually keep it really tiny, because that's it. This, like I said before, I'm a living experience. This happened to me, so I don't want to any of our listeners happen this thing, because it's a curve, and it's not because now you can say no, Harry, but you see the owner of Facebook, the owner of Google, these people start with nothing, and now they went to billionaires and they're running billion. Well, let me tell you that this is only the stories that you need, and this is very rare
yeah.
that a founder can be there in the whole. There is only few, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and things like that you see that they started from nothing and they own the big shot company. It's not usually how it works. What usually works is that you identify what you're good at, and you make good financial decisions, and you build it, you sell it at the peak, keep some shares of that business, get advisory board or whatever, and you can be in your business and grow, but let the people that specialize, take over, right?
Absolutely. And there's no shortage of opportunities out there for people who have got the creative and can see through the gaps in the marketplace. There's always something happening.
Yeah, and there is nothing more beautiful that can happen to you. That's the reward for you for what you did. You see, to sell it, and to exit it. You don't have to be there. You don't have to work on your business your whole life. You don't want to. And if your dream is to pass, the other day, other person in this podcast, you see, he sold his business to his general manager, and he told me, Harry, you won't believe, I sold my business to my general manager, and my general manager is growing it
Growing it.
at the fastest pace that I was. The guy was shocked. And he told me, Harry, because I own several businesses, so I'm always paying attention to several businesses. I was not that focused in that business in particular. I was running, parallel to other businesses. But you know what? I sold to my general manager, and because he's only focused in this, and he's growing the thing to a pace that I didn't even know that was possible. And he created that business. He was his general manager who bought it from him. So more and more we see that sometimes some people, again, you worry from 0 to 1, 0 to 10 million, and maybe that's your thing. This is what you're good at. This is what you enjoy. This is what you have fun. And because let me tell you, it's not the same from 0 to 1. Completely different is 0 to 10. And if you like 0 to 1 and 0 to 10, go to 10 to 100 million. Maybe you're not gonna like it to be in that kind of base, because the whole base changed completely. You have culture, you have leadership, you have under employees, you have lawyers, you have compliance, you have you name it, right? It's not the first 10, 15 people, let's do it. We don't sleep, and we're gonna make this product to succeed, and we're gonna change the world. This dynamic change completely when you have 200, 300 employees, because they're not gonna, they will go and sleep. They will stay overnight following your vision, correct?
Correct. And you touched on something interesting there, Harry, around you talked about the 1 to 10. What I've observed is that businesses, they definitely go through cycles, and as they go through the stages, there are different things that they need to do to take them to the next stage. And what I've learned is every time you triple your business in size is when you need to rebuild and renew all of your infrastructure.
100%.
0 to 100, 100 to 300, 300 to a mil, and then 1 mil to 3 mil, 3 mil to 10 mil. And every time you triple the size is when you need to, if it's a sales system, you'll move from a spreadsheet to a CRM system to an enterprise system. If it's your sales process, your whatever, your systemization, your documentation, it'll all change and it will evolve. But you need to rebuild it. Your website is another example. You need to rebuild it every time you triple in size. So if you start thinking about that as a business owner and you go, oh, look, I'm coming up to 10 mil, or I'm coming up to 3 mil, or even 300, just think, well, okay, well, at that 300, I'm probably going to have to invest in more resources. And, it'll go through a period where I'm not as profitable. And then once I've made that investment, then I'll go through another period of profitable growth. Then I'll have another investment period, another period of profitable growth.
Again, you need to be willing to unlearn to learn again. Because the process changed completely, and the same way that you think 0 to 1 is completely exactly. Even you said 0 to 300,000, you even need to change your thinking from 300,000 to 1 million, and every time you triple, you have to unlearn and learn again. And this process, maybe the new thing you learn that you have to implement, which is what you have to do. Maybe you don't enjoy this. Maybe you are not good at. Maybe you are more comfortable in the other space 0 to 1, which is something that that you already achieved, and you can repeat this process again and again. So it depends of the owner, of the CEO. You can get in love with your business, but you have to be willing to do what it takes, which is learn and unlearn, build the system, because otherwise you can end up exactly like that is describing. If you don't unlearn and learn, you're going to end up with something that your business is not sellable. Right?
And a lot of business owners need a lot of encouragement, shall we say, to unlearn old behaviors. And so we need to give them a really powerful reason to unlearn the old behavior and learn a new one. So you've got to show them how much their current behavior is costing them. And, I found that a good way to help motivate them, shall we say.
So Dari, if someone is in love with our conversation and they say, wow, I need help, I need to start to restructure my business, I think that I can sell it, but I need to do some preparation. Everybody listening out there. So how people can find you, how this process works?
The easiest way is, fortunately, I've got a really unique name. And if you have a look at my name on the screen there and put that into LinkedIn, you're going to find me. I'm the only one.
Dari, you need to mention your name because there are some people listening in the car or in the radio. So can you mention it, please?
I'll add that. So it's Daryl Bates Brownsword, and the best website to find me is successionplus.co.uk. And that's where you'll find me. When you get onto the website of successionplus.co.uk, you're going to find on our homepage, we've got a tool called the Business Sellability Score. If you do that score, it'll take you less than 4 minutes. There's 30 questions to answer, really quick 30 questions. It will take you less than 4 minutes if you know your business, and you'll get an instant indication of how sellable your business is. And then, if you sign up, you give us your details for that. We'll give you some resources to help you improve the sellability of your business.
And with that note, see you everyone on our next episode of Unstoppable, how brave entrepreneur like Dari break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.